Alrighty. Adriene. Dan, the first day's 48 minutes. Şarkılar 20.
Are you coming or not? Hello everyone, welcome to Breath, your 30-day yoga journey. I'm Adriene, this is Benji.
Hey Benji.
I'm so glad you are here. It is day 1, setting the tone for the whole beautiful story, Invite. Let's get started. Hello, my darling friends. Welcome. Let's begin our day 1 practice in a nice, comfortable seat. And if you can, sit up on a little blanket or towel or a block if you have one. Maybe inviting the hips to be a little bit higher than the knees. Thank you so much for being here. As you're ready, sit up nice and tall. And when you're ready, just tuck your chin slightly to invite a lengthening in the back of the neck. We're going to start nice and slow here, so just take a moment to land, growing tall in the spine. And right away, begin to notice if you're holding or clenching in any areas of the body, maybe the toes, the fingers, the jaw, the shoulders, around the neck and the trapezius muscles perhaps. Maybe even in the glutes or the hip area, feeling a holding or a clenching. Just begin to notice if you're holding or clenching in any area, and of course, just by bringing our attention to that, we might invite a softening. We may not be able to hit the relax button, but we're slowly inviting our awareness inward. And responding to the things that we notice, the things that we find. Then if you feel comfortable, this is the beginning of a long and beautiful journey, so take your time with everything. But if you feel comfortable, close your eyes here. And from a very real place of love and care and friendship, I know that sounds a little cheesy, but I mean it. From a very real place, from my heart, will say, I invite us to bring our attention to the breath. And if this first day feels like, oh, when are we going to get moving? Just remember the theme of our whole journey here. And if you were able to watch the welcome video, experience the welcome video, keep in mind this idea of a slow burn. Inviting yourself to slip into the role of the observer. When we tend to move fast or add too many things to the pot, it becomes a little bit harder to reside in that role of the observer. So just observing the breath as it is. You may have already felt inspired to take a deeper breath or more conscious breath, and if so, that's wonderful. Follow that urge. times here. Simply inviting yourself to notice the breath. Inviting yourself to slip into the role of the observer. And if you did not close your eyes for this intro, this tuning in, that's totally great. That's wonderful, no problem. But maybe I'll invite you to just soften your gaze. Maybe you send your gaze, your focus down past your nose. Inviting the attention inward, so tending to your inner world here. Today's practice all about listening. So we're slowing it down. And we'll take Benji's cue. He just let out a big, long, audible exhale. And we'll start to breathe together. The beginning of this journey is a special one because this is a theme that I think can really connect us as people, whether you are into that or not, whether you signed up for this journey seeking that or not, it inevitably will connect us. So let's kick it off here officially with a deep inhale in together through the nose. Breathe in, nice and easy. And for now, exhale out the nose or mouth, whatever feels good. And again, big inhale in through the nostrils. And exhale out through the nose or mouth, you choose. And one more deep breath in. And long breath out. Beautiful. Bring the palms together. Drop the head down towards the hands. Draw your chin actively in towards the chest and remain nice and tall from the base of the spine all the way up to the base of the neck here. So the core is already working here a little bit, believe it or not. The palms are gently pressing together. We're starting to feel the stretch in the back of the neck, the traps. As we draw the shoulders down, we can feel that maybe a little more. Again, notice where you're holding or clenching and invite a softening to happen around those areas, perhaps wrinkling the forehead or the brow, softening through the jaw. And we'll take one more breath here, hands in prayer, head bowed. Inhale in. And exhale to slowly release. Lift the head, lift the chin. You can open the eyes here. So today's practice is nice and slow, setting the tone for our journey. It will pick up with speed. You will have days where you feel the burn. But please be patient with yourself and please be patient with me in this program as we take necessary steps to invite a deeper listening in. All right, with our day one invite practice. So we'll bring the fingertips out here, left to right, sit up nice and tall. And nice and slow. Inhale, sweep the fingertips all the way up through this halfway point in line with the shoulders and then all the way up towards the sky as you breathe in. And then exhale, try to use the full exhale to float the fingertips down. So right away, we're synchronizing breath and movement. Inhale to lift it up, nice and slow. And exhale to float it down. So that's the vinyasa here in the warm-up. You can close your eyes or invite that soft gaze down past your nose as we inhale to lift up. And exhale to float it down. Now, I invite you to find nuance, whatever that means to you. It'll be individual, it'll be unique to every body and energy level arriving here today. Inhaling to sweep the arms up and exhaling to float them down. So the arms may be getting a little tired if you're new to the practice. Stick with it. You got this. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, float it down. Let's do these last two together. So here we go, nice and slow. Big inhale. Fingertips reach all the way up. And slow exhale, fingertips gently float down. Maybe fingertips kiss the earth at the bottom. Last one, inhale all the way up. And exhale to float it down. From here, bring the palms face up on the knees or thighs. Just take a second here to listen to the sound of your breath. Again, today's all about just inviting that listening in, and if it feels challenging or difficult or like you're ready for some chaturangas, I totally get it. But we're gonna try to train ourselves to focus on the breath. Focus our awareness on the breath. Good, and then after a little observation moment, a moment of stillness, we'll come forward onto all fours, nice and easy. If it feels right to pad the knees, you can use your bath towel or your blanket to create a little extra cushion for the knees here. We're going to come to tabletop position, aligning the wrists underneath the shoulders, the knees right underneath the hip points. So not too wide, not too narrow. Feeling as though you're creating a nice, strong base for yourself. So we work to create a nice foundation, the asana, building from the ground up. On this journey, same thing with the breath, building a really strong foundation with the awareness of breath, so that as we start to layer on breath technique and other fun stuff, we've already started a lifelong romance, a new flavor to the relationship with the breath. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking about that and let's do some spinal flexion. Here we go, drop the belly, inhale, open the chest. Look forward, nice and slow, exhale, navel draws up, we press into the palms, press into the tops of the feet, crown of the head drops down, arching the back. Moving slower with purpose, so intentionally moving slower here. Inhale, drop the belly. And exhale, hug those low ribs up, up, up. Feel the skin of the back stretch. Press into the fingerprints. And one more slow one. Inhale, drop the belly. See if you can find nuance. Invite an awareness of nuance in, whatever that means to you. Exhaling, arching the back, drawing the navel up, pressing into the tops of the feet and the palms. Excellent. Now you can begin to speed it up a little bit. Maybe find what feels good, moving with your breath, inhaling to drop the belly, exhaling to round through the spine. You can find a rhythm here that feels good, but see if you can follow your breath. Marrying the action or the movement to the breath. Marrying the breath to the action. All right, from here, come back to a nice neutral spine, tabletop position. We're going to curl the toes under. We're going to walk the hands back. Sits, bones, hips go back, and we're going to stretch through the fascia of the foot here. So keep the hands on the ground here to start, especially if this is new, like your dogs are going to be speaking to you. Take a breath or two here, and then if it feels right, you can walk the hands places. You might even take your hands and get that pinky toe on the ground if it's not there. Sit up nice and tall. If you take the hands off the ground, lift up from the pelvic floor, start to find that midline even here. Let's take one more deep breath in, long breath out, and then come forward back onto all fours. We will uncurl the toes, and from here we're going to take the right hand, we're going to turn it around clockwise so that the fingertips are facing towards my right knee. Use your left hand for a little stability here, and nice and slow, we're going to move in a circular direction. So you can think about moving your chest or your core, your heart center, or your solar plexus in a circle. And you're going to try to keep all of your fingerprints on the ground for this, and this can be very small, especially if you have a lot of tightness in the wrists and forearms. We have a fair amount of yoga ahead of us, so we're setting ourselves up for greatness. All right, reverse your circle if you haven't already, and invite your awareness back to your breath. All right, then we'll release that, come back to tabletop position. Grounding now through the right hand. We'll take the left fingers, turn them around towards the body. Breathe here, pressing into the fingerprints. Again, we're using that right hand to kind of support this movement or this therapy in the left arm. And then nice and easy, soft and easy. No need to push. Moving in a circular direction. Keep an awareness in the neck here. Notice I'm not dropping the neck, but always remembering the neck is an extension of the spine. Reverse the circle, nice and easy. This way it could feel a bit different too. This is so great. Think about all the time we spend holding our phones and on computers and even playing instruments. Just so nice, especially if you want to get more into yoga. It's a good thing to spend some time on the hands and the wrists and the forearms, but also connect that to the midline and the spine. That's why it's good to get in the habit of not collapsing the neck. All right, let's release that baby. Let's walk the knees as wide as the yoga mat. Bring the big toes to touch. Send the hips back. Spider crawl the fingertips towards the front of the mat. Take the deepest breath you've taken all day. And as you exhale, melt your heart down towards the ground, forehead towards the earth. 3 deep breaths here in extended child's pose. This is a good shape to invite your awareness to your breath and see if you can breathe wide. What does that mean, Adriene? Find a lateral breath, one that feels like it fills the lungs and expands the rib cage. And then press into the tops of the feet. Slowly make your way back to tabletop position. We have lots of time here to play with that lateral breath, so no need to worry about getting in or doing it right here. We're going to walk the palms forward now from tabletop position just a bit. Upper arm bones rotate externally. We keep the knuckles and the fingerprints rooted to the ground as we curl the toes under. Take a deep breath in here. And on an exhale, lift the hips up high, nice and slow, and back, nice and slow, downward facing dog. Now keep that strong commitment in the hands to the earth as you begin to bend the knees one at a time. Again, waking up the feet, stretching through the fascia of the foot, the Achilles, the ankle, of course, the calves, the backs of the knees, inviting the hamstrings to lengthen ever so slightly. External rotation in the shoulders, nice, strong, stable shoulders here.
starting on the core. Then we're going to straighten both legs. Don't worry about the heels touching the ground. Make sure you're not holding or gripping in the head or the neck. We're here for 3, breathe deep, 2, and on the 1, we're going to slowly bend both knees and take baby steps slowly, slowly, slowly to the top of the mat. When you arrive, walk the feet hip